Hi friends! So today's video was going to be about Ozempic. I was going to chat for a minute about the pros and cons of the rising GLP-1 use and how I think it's very important that people don't create just one idea of that substance paired with people's behavior. And the reason is because Ozempic, just like everything else, it's not a black or white thing. It is life-saving for, even in weight loss situations. I don't just mean for the diabetics who are originally the main GLP-1 users because they needed it for their diabetes. Obviously, I hate the word user. It just sounds so weird. But I have a video coming up about just my thoughts when it comes to mental health, my professional thoughts when it comes to mental health and physical health when it comes to Ozempic use. And like I said, it is not just black and white. Truly, it makes a lot of sense for some individuals to be utilizing a GLP-1, and then there are a group of people who are abusing that medication. And those are two very distinctly different groups. And I just hate seeing it all clumped in one, like Ozempic is bad, GLP-1s are bad, da 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 da. Well, they're not all bad. I mean, yeah, for certain people, they're bad. And that video is still coming. But something happened this morning that caught my attention, and it was actually a comment that I left on another YouTuber's video. And I was thinking about the comment after I left it. And I was thinking about the YouTuber specifically, and I'm going to dive into all of it and tell you. And I thought, this is such a good lesson from the things he said, from his perspective, from my perspective. And I think it's a good lesson in teaching everyone, how we all see the world through our own lenses and our own experiences, which is why judging, even though it can be an immediate reaction, and I'll admit I'm guilty of it in that comment that I left this morning. And after I reflected on the comment and realized that I was reacting through my lenses the exact same way that he was reacting through his lenses. We were both just being human. And I'm not telling the story to teach you anything really about me or him, but about all of us, because it's just such human behavior. And I'll try to keep it short. My allergies are bothering me. And I know you guys can already hear my voice breaking. I'm finally getting health insurance again, so I will be able to go to a throat doctor hopefully very soon. I need ear, nose, and throat doctors so bad. Anyway, but I'm going to try to keep it short, try to get through it. Maybe we can learn, maybe we can laugh, maybe we can explore us being humans. Okay, so here's the situation. Creator, his name is Sebastian Soto. He is definitely on YouTube. I think he's on TikTok too. I do have a courthouse kidnapping on TikTok, but I don't actually get on the app to put those videos on there. They are uploaded through a third-party clipping, and I use Opus Clip. And you guys, this is not sponsored at all, but I've been using Opus Clip for 3-4 months now, and it's been a game changer. It is, I mean, some of these clipping services will come back with 6 to 10 clips for you to play around with, edit the way you want to, whatever. Opus Clip comes back with 40, like 25 to 40 clips, and it is just, I have so many good things to say about Opus Clip. If you are a creator, especially now in the way short form is just taking over, even on YouTube, and the algorithms definitely show it, Opus Clip is not a waste of money. It is not a waste of money. And like I said, this is not sponsored. I don't have any kind of, I pay full price for Opus Clip. I'm not getting kickbacks for this. It's just good advice. Like I said, it's been a game changer. Anyways, so I think Sebastian's on TikTok also, and I think he's on Instagram also. And I have all my stuff on those things too, but like I said, I don't really scroll through the apps as much as people would think, because I do use that third-party clipping service to kind of upload them all at once. It saves a lot of time, which I need to save time because I'm also running 2 websites that I created all by myself and maintain. And I have Coral's Kidnapping, Mona's Laws, Contextually Human Coaching, and then I have my own stuff. I mean, I'm everywhere for a very small group of people. I'm just exploring, I guess. But anyways, but I started following him on YouTube right around when I first moved into here. And I love Sebastian Soto's content. He comes across as so genuine and just a beautiful spirit, absolutely. And I guess that's another reason why I'm making this video too. Not only are there a lot of lessons in his perspective on the video that he posted and my perspective on the comment I posted, but like other creators, I've left honest comments before and then I'm just like, whatever, unsubscribe. I just don't ever think about it. You know what I mean? You don't think about them again until they pop up, and then, but I really think that this person is a really good person. I've been watching him for years, and I just get that vibe. I could be being very naive. I know that in the comments I left this morning, I said that I had naively believed that he cared about what we're about to talk about, and then now I don't know. Also, it should be said that I left that comment right when I woke up, and I have a rule for myself that I don't comment within the first hour of being awake. Because that is when my sass is higher. That is the highest. That is when my sass meter is just off the charts. I don't know. Even people who don't think I'm very smart can certainly attest that I can be a smart ass at any moment. I'm very good at it. It's part of me. Anyways, so Sebastian covers the Free Britney stuff. And as you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, I touch on Britney Spears from here and there too in my content, and the trafficking of her and her children. If you want to really know the truth about what's going on with Miss Britney Spears and what happened to her back then and now, Sebastian, I'm sorry, but Sebastian doesn't have it for you, okay? I'm sorry. He doesn't. He goes off of gossip, but there is one woman who is, and her name is BJ Corville. She has she has 3 channels now, because she has the live channel as well. She has, her first 2 channels are called That Surprise Witness and BJ Investigates. Now, Sebastian is so sweet. He's such a kind soul. He's also very naive. Britney has gone through, BJ's name is also Britney. There are Britneys everywhere. Y'all are everywhere. But BJ has actually graduated law school. She passed the bar. She knows exactly what the hell she's talking about. And I will link both of her channels in the description on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should go follow my Facebook, because there's so much more. That's more my main platform. The rest of them are kind of little satellite platforms almost, that's what I call them. And yeah, there's a lot more over there. You can learn a lot more about me and everything that happened when it happened, which is going to have a lot to do with what we're talking about. So, but she actually goes through Britney's court documents. She is the one that will read them all to you. Go follow. BJ does the work that Britney's lawyers didn't do because they were getting paid from her trafficking. Her lawyers were making more by sabotaging her than they were by saving her. And I've been in that exact same position, because the truth is that we have lawyers out here that are wolves in sheep's clothing all day. Psych exams need to be given before someone can take the bar exam. In my opinion, we need heavier psychological screening for someone to be able to practice law in our courts, because they use them to traffic innocent people and they have zero remorse about it. It's human trafficking in plain sight. But what happened to Britney Spears feels like a litigation trafficking that we might be seeing now again with Wendy Williams. And Britney Spears lived it for 13 years. Like, BJ led the Free Britney movement. She was one of the heavy leaders in the Free Britney movement. And when all of that happened, all that was happening with Free Britney, well, it caught my eye because I felt bad for her as a mom, because she was always talking about her kids. And when everything happened to me the way it happened, all of the lies, all of the perjury, all of the veiled crime by not only these attorneys, but also my children's own family. Like, there are so many parallels. Sebastian Soto is a very smart young man. I mean, he's bilingual. And I'm pretty sure he learned English as an adult, which just proves how intelligent he is, because it's very difficult for the human brain to actually, and I mean, he didn't just learn English. Now he has a YouTube channel, speaks it perfectly. Like, anytime he's sounding out a word or something in the comments, I'm always like, you got it, you did. Like, over here when I'm watching his stuff, rooting for him. Very smart individual. I also think he has a very kind heart and doesn't want to believe what can happen in our courts, even though it did. And I used to almost feel bad about leaving comments on other YouTubers' stuff, because I had my comments off. So I thought, well, Jamie, you have your comments off, but you're still, that feels hypocritical. But it isn't, because the more I thought about it, my comments are off, and that is in exchange for a lot more money than I could be making. Content creators get paid heavily from their engagement, and that's also how they get more subscribers. So, like, on YouTube, like I said, I use a lot of these platforms as like kind of satellite platforms. I like using YouTube and putting my videos there because they're easily indexed, and then I have a cool link that I can share them with, that the thumbnail pops up different, everything pops up different. When I need to share those videos in the future on any of the platforms, it is easier to have them on YouTube than sharing it from Facebook, if that makes sense. And I've had that channel now, I suppose it's been almost 2 years, and it still only has like 70 something subscribers, which is totally fine. But the reason that it only has 70 something subscribers is because all of my comments are off. So when people come across my YouTube videos, it's because they were looking for me, or they watched a video previously and I pop back up. It's not, I don't just show up on people's For You pages, and I kind of like it that way. One, my YouTube isn't monetized anyways, so I'm not making any of those videos for like view money, I use them to promote my websites. I will share affiliate links in there. So sometimes I can make money in different third source over here, not directly from YouTube. See what I'm saying? So if my comments were on, I would have many more subscribers by now, and I would be making a little bit of money. So that is the trade-off that I choose. Okay. I choose for right now, I am choosing my mental health and all my viewers' mental health by not having that comment section open over making a whole bunch of money off those videos. None of it is a cash grab. It just isn't. And this is not me saying other YouTubers shouldn't have their comments on. No. That's not what I'm saying. They need their comments on because that is their main source of income. They have to have them on. That is the whole point. I mean, well, not all of them. It's not their main source of income, but what I'm saying is the bigger YouTubers, if they didn't have their comments on, they wouldn't be able to do YouTube. They would have to do something else. Like I have coaching services on the side. I have other stuff that I do, So I'm not downing anyone who needs engagement to do that job. That's just the territory of that job. And I've seen what happens in the comment sections. And there's a couple reasons why it's not worth it to me to make any extra money. Some things aren't worth money. And because I'm only one person, and like I said, I'm running 2 websites, all of these other platforms, I don't have like moderators or anything. I can't keep up with every single comment set. It would be impossible for me to do that while doing all of this other stuff. And one, I don't want my messages to get skewed by other people's experiences and lenses, which I'm saying is something that I think I contributed to this morning when I left that comment on his video. So I'm saying these are just human things. Like I'm not coming down on anybody. I'm saying I just did it this morning and I'm going to explain it. It's such a good lesson for us all to reflect, have self-reflection, reflect on what we're thinking and why we're thinking it. We're going to talk a lot about metacognition over the next couple years in these videos. So, as we've already discussed, there are quite a few parallels in the way Britney Spears was trafficked through the court system for money. A lot like many people are. But it was done to her on such a crazy grand scale. Stole 13 years of her life. And you know what? It didn't just steal 13 years of her life. Because these are things that are going to affect Britney Spears and her children until they all pass away. Until God takes us all like he does everyone. Her whole life. And Sebastian Soto always stuck up for Britney. And as we should all be sticking up for Britney, if that can happen to someone as powerful as her, and similar things can happen to someone as poor as me, everyone should be shook, okay? Everyone. I think that poor woman is dealing with, I can't even imagine still what she's dealing with. Because there are some traumas. I have traumas, very similar stuff with my own mother that Britney Spears has dealt with hers. And that's not something that goes away. So Britney, as you guys know, recently, I don't know, a couple months ago, Britney was hunted down a highway in California because someone called. You know, remember, Sebastian does not know what it's like to be set up through the court. BJ Investigates has more awareness, and because she read through those court records, and those court records that the media doesn't cover because it doesn't fit the narrative. You know, you guys, the only reason I started making these videos was to speak out about what they were doing to me and my children. And it has been so cathartic in a situation that I had zero control over. They trick you. They set you up. They file false police reports that can be proven to be false. But when your greedy trafficking attorney, mine's name was Leilani Adams. She works for Thomas Adams and Associate. You can go to www.courthousekidnapping.com and find a lot of information there. You can also go subscribe to the Courthouse Kidnapping YouTube channel, which I will also link in the description if you're watching this on the vlog channel on YouTube. And you can learn a lot more there. So we're not going to get into all of it right now in this video. I mean, I have so many videos talking about it. It would take forever. But just so you know, there are attorneys that are not working for their client. They're working for the opponent. They're working for the other party's attorneys. It's very slick and it's very disgusting. And when something goes through the court, okay, you guys have to remember, courts are filled with human beings. Courts are run by human beings. Human beings lie all the time. They can lie. They are greedy. They can be malicious. You have seen, I mean, you've seen it. And they're not held, they're rarely held accountable. Okay? Full-on lies and fabrications will never be challenged if the attorneys are working together. And it has already been planned. They've already created a narrative without knowing you at all. Just because one attorney is making money and the other one is. In my case, that's why it was. It was because Jana Naderman was paid and Leilani Adams was a court-appointed attorney. So these attorneys work together. It's not that difficult to figure out. Leilani Adams is also a paid attorney. But if you think about it, Leilani Adams wasn't making a dime off of saving my kids, but could stand to make thousands off of selling them by allowing the opposing attorney to just make up things and say whatever she wants. And then maybe next time, because remember, these attorneys work together. We're all living in Virginia Beach. There are only so many of them. And then maybe next time, Jana will be some child's court-appointed attorney or their parents. And Leilani will be getting paid. She'll be the paid one. And what parent do you think that child is going to be trafficked to in that case? Either way, if the Epstein files have taught you anything, it should be that money does not make you a good person, and it certainly doesn't make you a good parent. They are stealing these children's safety for thousands. What happened with Britney is worse. What happened with Britney was they made money off trafficking her kids, millions, not thousands, millions, off doing the same thing, trafficking her kids, but they made even more millions trafficking her too. So a few months ago, let's be clear, Britney, who just pled guilty to a DUI, and I know it's in court records, so I shouldn't be doing the air quotes, but if Britney's lawyer is the one speaking for her, I'm sorry. I don't trust her lawyers because there's obviously an incentive to trafficking Britney. She's worth that much. And sad to say it, but there are a lot of humans who are so disgusting and soulless that they don't care who they hurt as long as they get that green. So Britney apparently pled guilty. Also, she could have been coerced. I was coerced by Leilani. I was heavily, heavily coerced, and Leilani knew exactly what she was doing. Child trafficking ring, Virginia Beach. AquariusKidnapping.com. Go check it out. So she did not get pulled over with her DUI, okay? No. It wasn't like she was driving erratically, a cop saw and pulled her over. No. Someone who just knew that Britney happened to be out of her house, called 911, said that she had a tail light out, which is very suspicious to me. It almost sounds like someone could have just unscrewed a light bulb, made a reason for her to have that tail light out, and then as soon as they heard she was going to dinner and maybe have a glass of wine with dinner, which a lot of people do, called the police saying she's driving erratically, she don't have a tail light in, because the cops had to hunt her down on the highway, had to find her. I have a call. Who called? Who was that? It seems Britney took a breathalyzer and she blew a .06, which is not illegal to drive in California or Virginia. The legal limit is .08. So she wasn't drunk. It came out that she had no drugs in her car. She literally was doing nothing wrong except she had a tail light out. Why did she have that tail light out? Now, could it have been just the tail light went out and she didn't notice? Sure, that happens a lot of times to a lot of people. Does it happen to millionaires, though, that get their cars serviced so regularly? That is suspicious to me. If I have a tail light out, well, I don't have a car, but when I did, if I had a tail light out, one, you know you have a tail light out because it goes when you turn down your turn signal. You know, your car tells you when your tail light is out. And as careful as she is because of what they did to her before, I just don't see Britney driving around knowing her tail light is out. So I feel like she didn't know her tail light is out because maybe it wasn't out before. And maybe it just started clicking when she left her house that day. And maybe that was because someone messed with her tail light. Because I'm serious. I mean, think about it. You guys think about it. For us, a tail light out, not a big deal. Pretty normal. For a millionaire, how often does that? They get their cars serviced so regularly. You never know what's going on with the cords. So that happened to Britney. She was hunted down, not drunk, without any drugs in her car that night. And everyone ran with it. And she ended up going to rehab. Now, if she went to rehab because she actually has a problem, good. I'm glad that that would be for anyone. If you have a substance abuse problem, get help. Nobody can do it for you, okay? Nobody can get you clean or sober but you. Nobody can change your life but you. And that decision starts with you. Or she could have just gone because whatever lawyer she hired that we don't even know if is working against her or for her. Because keep in mind, yeah, Leilani Adams was a court-appointed attorney, so she wasn't making anything off of even being there, you know. My lawyer wasn't making any money off of being there, but Britney's lawyers were making millions every time that they had to go to court with her. So her lawyers have a reason to have her trafficked. And it's a reason of money. That's why there are so many flaws in our court system. There are so many holes that seem like common sense. Now, like I said, if Britney Spears is having some kind of substance abuse problem, she absolutely needs to go get help. But it is so dangerous for everyone to just say, in fact, this woman has this woman has a substance, this woman has, because of these circumstances that you can even look at from the outside, and there are a lot of holes that can be poked, a lot. But a lot of these YouTubers, they're not using their common sense. And I'm not saying that about Sebastian. This is the whole point that I'm making is Sebastian talks about it a lot. He had a brother who passed away from overdose. Okay. And I know what that feels like because my father, the life of my father, was taken by alcohol. So I know how hard that is. And Sebastian does not cope with it very well. You can tell because he can't talk about it. He still can't talk about it. It seems, I mean, he talks about it enough that we know it was many, many years ago. But this individual, Sebastian, you're amazing. You have not moved on from that. You have not moved on from it. And you are projecting your brother's substance abuse onto a woman that could be innocent, completely innocent from any of that. It could have all been a setup. And these lies could be destroying her life. And you are just seeing it through your lenses. You're just seeing it through what you've lived. This is what I'm saying to Sebastian Soto after I left that comment. My comment was something along the lines of this. I used to think that you genuinely cared about this individual the way that you spoke about her and all of the trauma that she went through. But ever since that DUI thing, all he does is just spread gossip from her traffickers. You guys, another reason I have my comments off is because so many lies, blatant lies, that I am still correcting today. Every now and then, I'll be talking to someone and they'll be like, oh, well, I know that you had these issues. And I'm like, wait, what? I didn't. What are you talking about? Like, no. Like, there are people who truly believe that that all that happened with my children because I was an alcoholic when I don't drink that much. I can't drink that much. I get sick before, like I will throw up before I become drunk enough to be a problem. I've never been an alcoholic. I've never been a heavy drinker ever. And okay, you know what? There are 2 months in my entire life that I was a heavy drinker. And I'll tell you exactly when those 2 months were. They were before my daughter was born, when it was the 2 months after my dad passed away. And I did not handle that death very well. I wasn't expecting it. I was young. I was 24. I just had a new baby. My dad was everything. And I didn't handle that well. I was young. I was going through a divorce also at the time, but I did not handle that well. That was 2 months. Oh, and also I was a bartender, so I was always around alcohol. 2 months of my 41 years of life. And I wasn't an alcoholic. I just wasn't mourning the loss of my father in a healthy way. But yeah, I am not a heavy drinker. I couldn't physically be a heavy drinker if I wanted to, because my body is already so sick that if I drink too much, I will just throw up. So that's just what happens. I'm a really cheap date. But my point is, Blake Lively doesn't know shit about a smear campaign. And when you have people like Sebastian Soto, who once again, I really do believe is a good person and doesn't realize what he's putting out into the universe and how it could truly, truly affect the life or death of the person that he's talking about. She has already been through so much. I can't even imagine to this day. All that stuff happened with the trafficking of my children 4 years ago. And I don't get out very much, and I'm still answering questions from the lies that we're told. And people who spread those lies for attention, which Sebastian Soto's doing it for money and attention, but they were just as much a part of the problem. So in the comment, what I said was, I used to think they actually cared about this person, but now one thing goes rocky in her life, and I'm talking about that recent DUI where she had to be hunted because she had a tail light out and she didn't even, and she blew a .06, which isn't even above the legal limit. Like, sketch. Like, how did her lawyer not get that dropped? We have lawyers here who get DUIs dropped when they were actually had a reason to be pulled over and were actually drunk. Something is up, and Sebastian isn't. He's too naive to understand what a setup looks like, what it feels like, and what it does. And now he has joined in. He's joined in on hurting someone. When her book came out, he filmed going there, getting it, first person getting it. He was like, I mean, this is like a mega fan. But that just proves your fans don't see you as a human being. He sees her as a coin machine, clearly, because now he's just spreading gossip of her traffickers. But I think that he's doing it because he himself has not been able to get over or move past the death of his own brother. And he's projecting it onto Britney. Now, my comment is how I am seeing the world through my lenses and what I've learned. You see, all of our experiences are just things that we've learned, right? And I have experienced a true smear campaign that completely destroyed my life, almost took it, will affect me forever, and did the exact same to both of my I've been that person. So in the comments, because I was looking at his video surely through my lenses. It wasn't until about 15 minutes after that I was just reflecting and thinking, well, Jamie, he's just talking about her through his lenses and his experiences. The difference is Sebastian Soto does not understand the consequences that Britney has, can, and will suffer because of his words. And if I could talk to him just person to person, I would say that may be worth a little bit extra in your bank account. But I promise you, to her, you say you're her biggest fan. I promise you, to her, it's not. You're just spreading rumors from people who have set her up before, stolen her life, tried to take it, and will do it again. And now, Sebastian, you are contributing to that. I will never, I talk about how my platforms are small, and I kind of like it that way. Because I'm not over here trying to take the internet by storm. I'm trying to just tell the truth where it needs to be and for who needs to hear it. I talk way more about myself than I do any of the celebrities because I don't know them. That's not fair. I don't know them. And I do bring up celebrities. I do it because it's psychologically interesting, and I try to do it in the most respectful way possible. Sebastian Soto, Scott, your advice is misplaced. I know that what you're saying to Britney are things that you wanted to say, that you wish you could have said to your brother, Sebastian. But you didn't know what was going to happen. It is not your fault, Sebastian. You didn't know. I didn't know that my dad was going to pass away from alcohol. You are carrying a burden that was never yours to even pick up, and you're doing it because you love your brother. And that's normal, and that's okay. But you have to start being more careful about the messages that you wanted to tell your brother and putting them onto strangers, especially in Miss Britney Spears' situation, because you already know that her own family has been out to get her for quite some time. And that, I don't see that changing. So, my whole point of this video is nobody's perfect. And we are really all going through life with our own lenses. And we need to use those lenses to really learn from each other. So, once again, I don't make money off any of these videos. I make money off my other stuff. But I hope everyone's having a beautiful day, because context matters. So, as easy as it is to see everyone else's situation through your experiences, I encourage everyone to try to look at what's going on around them also. Because what's going on around them, even if it's something similar to what happened to you or that you witnessed or you experienced, what's around them and what was around you may be very different, which can change the situation entirely. You know, for example, if you go back and look at my court stuff, if I had actually been some kind of drug addict or abuser, then this wouldn't be trafficking. What happened with my kids wouldn't be trafficking. But that wasn't the context. I was the safe parent. And my daughter was sold to her absentee father who hadn't spent more than 24 hours with her in 2 years. Literally. She was with me every day. She was sold. That's not what our courts are for. Slavery was supposed to be abolished a long time ago. We don't own people anymore. Can't sell them. Our courts are supposed to be for equal justice for all, including our children. But that's not what's happening, because we do, unfortunately, have, and I'm going to keep calling them criminal attorneys, because they're criminals. They just haven't been caught yet. And you know what? Will they ever be? I don't know. You know, it's interesting too, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. I've been watching the David trial, David with a 4. I did a video on that last year when all of that when Celeste's body was found and everything. And first of all, fry him. If you guys don't know, they got him. He's in California, and he's facing what could be the death penalty, even though there's something called a moratorium, I think, in California, where they don't have the death penalty. It's been banned for now. But from what I understand, if someone gets a new mayor or new governor or something, and they end that moratorium, they can bring the death penalty back. That's my understanding of it. So even though he's being tried in California and they don't do the death penalty, he could still be sentenced with the death penalty. But because California is in a moratorium, they wouldn't put him to death unless that law changes in the future. But I've been watching some of that, keeping up with the trial, listening, and the trial hasn't actually started yet, so I'll just pre-trial stuff right now. Listening to the prosecution defense. And I've said before that I don't feel like I have a whole bunch of respect for defense attorneys, except maybe Bruce Rivers. Go follow his channel. He's a defense attorney, but he also doesn't seem like someone who would traffic children. So I don't know. I don't think he would defend a crime against a child. And that really does kind of beg my point that no matter what kind of attorney you are, you have the option to be a good person or a bad person in any profession. That's your personality, honey. You can't blame that on lawyers. You blame that on the individual. You're not the profession. But with that being said, that defense attorneys can go up and just have outrageous opinions. With that being said, defense attorneys are defending this horrific crime against Celeste Hernandez Rivas, 14-year-old little girl, chopped up, shoved in the frunk of a Tesla, and left there like garbage. So we have criminal defense attorneys. Once again, greed, money, defending him. And these attorneys, well, one, the defense attorneys aren't making anything up. Like, I haven't seen that at all so far. Like I said, we're just in pre-trial right now. But at least, I can't believe I'm saying this, at least the people defending David, who, from what we know so far, have not made anything up or lied at all, are showing exactly who they are. You can look at a lawyer defending the crimes that this man has committed and know that this is a greedy person, that this is not a good person. And they're very high paid. Blair Burke, I think, is his lead defense. Very high paid attorneys. But the attorneys trafficking, like the ones that trafficked my babies, Leilani Adams, Janet Naderman, and Teresa Berry, and the attorneys trafficking in Britney Spears' situation that trafficked her and her children, they are hiding. It makes them more disgusting of people than the Blair Burkes of the world, and it makes them far more dangerous to the community. You guys, Steve Irwin said something very smart. We all know and love Steve Irwin. Direct quote, Steve Irwin. You don't have to be afraid of crocodiles because you already know they want to eat you. People are scary because they pretend to be your friend first. Wolves in sheep's clothing. And I'm not saying that either Janet Naderman, Leilani Adams, or Bag of Wrinkles, Teresa Berry ever tried to be my friend. But what I'm saying is they have the mask of a savior to the community. They're running around pretending to be firefighters and families when they're actually arsonists. They are creating the fires. They are perpetuating them. And I'll never stop talking about it, ever. Things happen, horrible people happen, disgusting people happen. I'm just saying. Sebastian Soto is still mourning the loss of his brother. And Sebastian, if you do get to watch this, you need to talk to your therapist about bereavement work. I do bereavement counseling too. And it's hard, man. Losing someone's hard. My whole dad's side of the family, dead. They started passing away when I was 14 and they were all gone by the time I was 24. I lost a lot of people very young. And I had to learn how to handle that very young. But Sebastian, please stop trying to counsel your brother by using Britney Spears. You're going to kill that girl. Okay? I hope that you've taken my words here into consideration. And I did not mean for this video to be this long. And I know I went off on a lot of tangents. I told you guys I'm so much better expressing myself through writing, through written words. I'm ever the writer. speaking is still, I'm still honing in on my speaking craft. And also, like I said, I finally am about to get health insurance, so I'll be able to see a ear, nose, and throat doctor. Hopefully get this crackly voice and my throat pain a little fixed up. But I want everyone to stay grateful. We stay grateful for the people we have here. We stay grateful for the people we have in heaven. That's my daddy right there. That's my daddy right there. I don't believe that they ever leave us. And I think that fits into almost every religion. So nobody ever told me to feel that way. I just feel that way. After my dad passed away, I still feel him around me. I don't think, and I don't know. I'm agnostic. I don't know. I'm just Jamie. I don't know, but I don't think they ever really leave us, if I'm being honest. So we need to stay grateful for them watching over us. Every single one of our guardian angels. Mine have kept me safe. I know this. And stay grateful for all of our blessings, for bringing us peace, and every single one of our challenges, for bringing us strength. Be easy on yourselves, be easy on each other. I was so sassy in the comments this morning, Sebastian, and I'm sorry. That was rude. I could have said it not rude. I was being direct. And I need to soften my directness a little bit in writing. I understand that, and I will work on it. But other than that, I hope everyone has a beautiful day. As always, go subscribe to the Just Another Jamie vlog channel. Go subscribe to the Courthouse Kidnapping YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook. Got like 8 Facebook pages for all of the Courthouse Kidnapping has one. Mental Health VP still has one. Like I said, I'm everywhere. I'm grateful for every single one of you. Thank you guys. I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of the week. I will talk to you very soon.